All right, what's up, guys? So today is Sunday, markets just literally opened. So when it comes down to this analysis for AUD USD, we look at the monthly simple analysis. Market broke away from this bearish trend line, a retest on the support zone. Looking at the daily, we analyze a very clear cut when it comes down to this bearish trend line being respected multiple times with wicks on a downside, meaning that there are sellers exhaustion going on throughout this whole setup. Let's look at the 4 hour. So as far as the 4 hour is concerned, market has been respected multiple times. We did see this bearish trend line breakaway retest on the support zone almost exactly. So if you were to have gotten into a trade like this, there would have been potential for you to actually gotten in at this point based on this analysis. Very simple, bearish trend line, breakaway, retest on support zones. And now we see a TP based on the fact that it has that previous resistance area at this level. So that's on the 4 hour, but we're trying to find new setups. So when it comes down to the 1 hour, um, based on this information alone, my expectations for AUD USD it's probable that this market might start to consolidate within these levels. Expectation is just because of the fact that there's a lot of resistance within these zones. We see wicks on the upside. So overall, if we do draw a bullish trend line on this specific setup, we could potentially see market retest on these levels and push down below on these support zones. So that's my idea. My buy is on the USD. I need that to fulfill in order for me to get into this trade. Other than that, I mean, it's simple cut. Last week, if you got into this trade, that was a very simple trade. Yeah. So let's go to EU. So EU, we see this small gap, not much. On a daily, so let me just emphasize, guys, every time I look at the charts, I don't look at them for like more than 20 minutes. It's very simple, straightforward, cut to the chase. This is not trying to be a mastermind or anything. I'm just going straight to it and just seeing what I see, not what I want to see. So when it comes down to this, we see a bearish trend line. We see support zones being respected multiple times. This is on the monthly. Let me look at the daily. So far, when it comes down to the daily, market has broken away from this bearish channel. So this is very important information if you want to get into a potential buy in long-term run. So we see this 4 hour market broke away from this bearish trend line, respected multiple times, break away, retest right here, potential buy on this setup. So now we look at the 1 hour. Okay, so when it comes down to this, we do see this bullish trend line being respected. I did do my analysis prior to this, probably Saturday, just because of the fact that I wanted to be prepared for the week. So overall, we do see this bullish trend line respecting once, twice, three, four, breakaway, retest within these levels. So my expectations for this market is potentially for it to go bearish up until these levels and then potentially move up. But overall, if it does happen, we need to see a lot of movement based on this information. This potential 40 pip gain, just because of the fact that there is a lot of resistance within these levels. I was looking at UJ. All right, UJ, I literally did do a setup on it on a 4 hour. So let's look at the monthly. So when it comes down to the monthly on this one specifically, we see a breakaway from this bearish trend line, multiple retests on these levels. We do see wicks on the downside, which is very, very important news. Overall, market has not pushed above this resistance zone, which is very something that should not take lightly. We do see this bullish trend line respected multiple times to break away and retest at this exact level. So now let's look at the 4 hour. I mean, this wicks on the upside is showing me a lot of information. I would actually potentially get into this trade. Let me just see this. I had this set up from Saturday to see how the market opened, and I'm liking how it looks like right now. So my expectation for this might be potentially maintaining a bearish direction. 107.307. So that's a sell. Let's see what standard I'm gonna use. I'm confident in this trade, but Let's just be cautious with this one. Sell. UJ sold. All right. And it can go either way. Just because I did that does not at all mean that you should. Just be cautious based on your own analysis. Okay, now let's look at UCAD. Okay, UCAD, I also put another position in this just because of what I saw on the weekend. So when it comes down to the monthly, we see this bullish trend line respected multiple times. Market has not pushed below that. We see a lot of resistance when it comes down to this. Now let's look at a daily expectation for this market. Oh, there is this bullish, beautiful bullish trend line respected multiple times on these zones. We do see this giant bearish momentum on the giant bearish candle. So just based on this information alone, my expectation for the market has been, in a sense, very bullish. I don't know why I did that. You guys see that? It moved my move. I don't know why I did that. That's kind of weird. Okay, but I'm expecting this market to maintain an upward direction just because of that. Preferably to these general areas where there's a lot of resistance. Just because of the fact that there's a lot of information leaning towards that. So we'll see on that. I'm actually going to get into a trade. UCAD trade. Stop loss is at 131,632, and TP is at 33,071. Standard on this one. Let's do what kind of lot size? Buy. Perfect. Okay. Now let's look at Ripple. Beautiful. So I actually did this analysis a little bit earlier today, just because of the fact of what I saw. It was very simple. I don't look at the monthly when it comes down to this. These are cryptocurrencies. I don't like to analyze that deeply because it doesn't have enough information right for now. So we see this information on a daily even. There's still not enough. But on the 4 hour, this is where it gets important. We do see this bullish trend line here, hit once, twice, breakaway, retest on the outside, and a downward direction. But the one thing that I am seeing that it's not necessarily giving me a lot of, in a sense, confidence is this wick right here. This could just be because markets opened. I don't know. But the fact that there's this wick, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Not necessarily saying that it's going to go up now, but I'm just saying just keep an eye on it. But if you do want to get into this trade, I would highly recommend that you wait until it breaks away from these general areas to see what movement it has. Right now, it's a little bit, not saying too late, but just be cautious. Just because of the fact that you see this doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to maintain a downward direction. And we do start to identify this channel in a sense. So let's just keep an eye on this. If it does start to go back within these general areas, I'm going to keep an eye on what it does within these levels. And it starts leaving a bunch of wicks, then that's confirming myself. But if it doesn't, it starts to have more bodies and wicks, and I'm going to get out of this trade and potentially look for a buy. But I'll keep an update on that as the week goes by. All right, now let's look at US 30. So when it comes down to US 30 on the monthly, same information, obviously, market has not pushed above this. Now, when it comes down to any of the, let's say, a cryptocurrency or a regular pair, if I saw this information, I would potentially lean towards a buy. But this is US 30, and I'm not going to be like that because US 30 is completely different to trade. So when it comes down to this simple information, we do see the market respect this bullish trend line multiple times, but we're starting to see wicks on the upside, meaning that there's not enough momentum to push the market upwards. So based on this information alone, we look at the 4 hour, we see a lot of resistance within these levels. We see wicks on the upside as well. And if we try to analyze it based on this bullish trend line, let's look at the 1 hour, just to give us a little more clear-cut image. Not necessarily lining up perfectly, but it is within that general area where it's finding resistance on these zones. So what I'm trying to see is based on US 30, I wanted to break away from this resistance zone. Once it breaks away from here, you can retest and potentially move downward on this potential market setup. So we're going to wait and see. Overall, my expectation for US 30 is bearish just because of the whole information we have on the monthly. But other than that, just keep a very clear-cut image of it because US 30 is not something to play with. It's very simple to trade, but not necessarily something that you should risk yourself with. When you can do all these currency pairs and all the cryptocurrencies, your story is a completely different breed. So just keep an eye on it, break away from it, retest, and potentially move below these zones where it's this bullish trend line being respected right here. So that's that. Overall, guys, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my journey as a trader, just because I never really talk about it. But overall, progressing is something that you should always do as far as an individual. Always try to progress as far as what you want to do in life, and honestly try to, in a sense, limit yourself when it comes down to things that don't make you happy. So if you guys don't know me, I mean, for me personally, I like to go out. I like to have fun. I like that. I do enjoy being out and about, and going to bar with friends and stuff like that. But in all honesty, I never feel fulfilled with that. And for the last several weeks, I've been basically just focusing on me, my craft, working out, or rock climbing, or just something that betters me as an individual. More focus on my trading course, more focus on everything that brings me fulfillment. And I found a lot of more happiness with it. And that's not necessarily saying that you should do that. We have different mindsets, different mind styles. If you find fulfillment in other things, do that. Or if you find happiness in actually going out and drinking and stuff like that, do that. But for me personally, that's something that as much as I grow up, I believe, or as I mature as an individual, I start to see things differently. And I'm not downing anything like that. I'm not even gonna say I'm not gonna go out and drink or go out and have fun every once in a while, but I've found a lot of, in a sense, comfort, and not in a sense of complacency, but in a sense of I'm doing the right thing for my future as far as the path that I'm in. There's a lot of peace within me when it comes down to that. And I suggest for everybody to find their peace. I emphasize it a lot. You can't be a successful individual without having your peace, because of the fact that you may gain a lot of money, but you'll gain so much more problems and lack the ability to deal with them if you don't have your peace. So I emphasize that very, very much, just because of the fact that there's nothing that you can't do if when it comes down to anything in this world, as long as you have that ability to maintain control of who you are throughout your whole life, and you'll be able to handle any situation that's thrown to you. So that's another suggestion I have. But when it comes down to my trading career, I want to exponentially grow. I've been noticing that I've been hitting a plateau as far as the amount of income I have when it comes down to the TPs that I take or the returns that I have. So I want to exponentially grow, meaning that I have to take risk, and at the same time I have to potentially project who I want to become further than where I'm at right now. So I'm expecting that to basically fulfill, and the way I do that is just basically consistently working on myself and seeing how I can better myself. Because just because you trade doesn't necessarily mean you should completely ignore the whole everything, all the other aspects of your life, because that's not true. You shouldn't. You should continue to grow and prosper and try to maintain that level head, but at the same time understand that you are an individual besides trading. So just because you become a great trader doesn't necessarily mean you avoid everything else. You don't avoid your spirituality, you don't avoid your health, you don't avoid your mentality, you don't avoid all of that, because of the fact that you have to maintain that growth mindset. And once you start getting too comfortable with it, um, you start feeling that fulfillment. You start feeling that sense of what can I do, or how can I grow as an individual. So if you can find that fulfillment in whatever you do, make sure that you expand on every aspect of your life. Don't just focus on one thing, because everything is different. Just because I guess the way I want to put it is everything takes its own thing to get better at. So as far as physical, maybe you need to go work out more, dedicate more time for your health and stuff like that. Or as far as the spiritual, take more time with yourself, meaningful time, reading more, learning more about yourself and all that. As far as your finances and trading in general, maybe you just need to lose that emotional attachment, and maybe that coexists with that spiritual sense and that mentality state. But at the end of the day, it's for you to discover. This is not me telling you what to do. This is me just advising as to what has helped me throughout the path. And for me personally, growing as an individual and seeing what I've in a sense accomplished, it takes a lot. I mean, I remember about a year and a half ago, I was in a really tough situation, and all it took was a complete understanding that I was responsible for everything that I was going through. And now life is a little bit better based on that information. Not saying that it's completely changed 100% because it hasn't, because I still have ambitions that I want to, in a sense, achieve that are way bigger than what I am at right now. So that's why I don't feel satisfied with it, but satisfaction is something that I never want to achieve. So maybe that's something that it's always going to be in my life. And I don't feel uneasy. Like I said, I feel peace. And I feel peace because I'm achieving things and I'm pursuing goals. So find fulfillment in everything you do, and be happy with your life, because you never know when it's going to be your last day, or when you're just going to have to, admit to yourself that you've been lying to yourself. So, and when it comes down to this whole social media aspect of it, um be honest, with yourself. If you're not in a good situation, don't try to lie about it. And if you are in a good situation, be humble about it. That's why I stopped posting profits. That's why I stopped doing all these things. I mean, it just it seems so weird now, just looking back at it. It's just that social media is literally it's weird. I mean, I post a lot, and that's honest truth that I just post it because I feel like posting it. But at the same time, I do understand there's a off aspect of it existing more within social media than within myself. And that's a whole different other topic. But this is trading, and I want to emphasize on that for right now. But basically, just keep growing, progressing as an individual, and make sure that everything you do brings you peace and brings you, in a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Because once you like that, you like that happiness that you pursue so effortlessly when you do have that peace. Um, but that's it for now. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Markets open. Make sure you are content and at the same time peaceful whenever you're trading. Because if you're not, this is not even on a spiritual level. I'm just talking about honest truth. If you're not at peace and you feel uneasy, do not touch your computer or your phone. Just get away from it. Go do something that, just puts you on the mindset. Because if you come into this feeling upset, you're gonna lose and you're gonna be leaving more upset. Or you might win and you think that's the right mindset, and eventually end up losing more than you ever make. So just keep that in mind. Don't be that guy. All right. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys probably Tuesday. I'll do another call. I mean, not call, but webinar, and let's see how it works out. How do I? Oh, here we go.